Hi everyone, happy Halloween. Welcome to another Chit Chat live from East Texas. I'm so excited you guys are joining me today. Hope you guys are doing amazing. If you're in the East Coast where it's snowing, I am really sorry. Good luck shoveling. But happy Halloween everybody. I'm DC Gomez, I'm your host. I am also a writer, I am a speaker, I'm a motivational coach, a mentor. Above all, my friends, I'm a dreamer. This is the reason I started this series. I wanted to encourage people to literally dream, to start dreaming again, to start living their best life now. So I wanted to give you tips. I wanted to give you tools you can use to accomplish this and be able to have practical advice. So this is why we're here today. Today we're talking about the importance of traditions and, of course, a little bit of the history of Halloween. But before we get started, my friends, go ahead, give this video a like, share with somebody, invite somebody to join us. Let's grow together. Growth is always better when we're doing it as a community. So I hope you guys go along. So at any point in time during the show, you have any questions, you have any issues, go ahead, put them in the comments. I'm going to be looking to the side to make sure I haven't missed anything. If you're watching the replay, still go ahead, put some comments in there. I'll go through them throughout the week, make sure that I'm answering your questions. If you have any specific questions for me, just send me a message. I'm here to talk to you guys about it. That's what I want to do. So you guys ready to start? We're going to talk about traditions, holidays, and all that fun stuff. And in case you didn't realize, Halloween is my favorite holiday, probably for very different reasons than most people can imagine. When we first moved to the States, 30 years ago, we moved from Dominican Republic to Salem, Massachusetts. So I probably have a little bias. So we moved to Salem literally in October. So the very first experience I had in the United States was Halloween. And for an immigrant, not only Halloween had that, whimsical, magical effect, it was the first time I got to experience the United States from a different perspective. I didn't need to know the language. I didn't need to understand it. Could get dressed up. As a family, we went out. I got to spend some time with my cousins. I got to meet people in the community, and I felt that I was a part of something bigger. So Halloween has a different connotations. So to this day, over 30 years later, it's still my favorite holiday. So I might not dress up anymore, might not be doing the same things that I did as a kid, but it still has the fun memories in my mind. I still think of Halloween and I get all giddy and I get all excited, and it makes me just smile. One of the things that I hear a lot nowadays when you're thinking holidays, when you're thinking of major traditions, is a lot of people feel they're very commercialized. Let's think about it. A quarter of all the candy that is sold in the United States, literally, are purchased for Halloween. So yes, it has that sense. It does have that feel that a lot of the things we do is very commercialized. But what I want us to start looking at is from a little different perspective. I want you guys to come with me. Start thinking of, do rituals, do ceremonies, do traditions, are they still important? So think back when you were a kid, however long ago. For me, obviously, it's been a couple of years. So think back when you were a kid. What are some of the things that come to mind? What do you remember doing? What are some of the things that to this day make you smile when you think about it? So I grew up in a predominantly Catholic country. So Dominican Republic, when I was growing up, we had very specific celebrations, and they were very religious in nature, but it was the things that shaped my foundation. So growing up, I remember that for Christmas, the schools were off for long periods of time, but I remember specifically that our neighborhood had these incredible celebrations. We had block parties. I remember that they decorated the entire streets, and we had competitions with different neighborhood streets about who had the best decorations. We had block parties in the weekends, believe it or not. They had a DJ, and as a kid, it translated that I could stay up late. That's kind of the fun thing. I could hang out with my friends, and we had all these things that happened as a community. So Christmas had a whole different take. I also remember growing up that we went and did night vigils, which was amazing. I haven't done this in the state ever, so it's kind of different. But we went around the church and everybody had candles. By the way, who gives a 9-year-old candles? I don't ask questions anymore as an adult. But we had candles and they were singing hymns and they had prayers and the priest was there. And it became an entire community celebration. I felt part of something. I was involved with something. That was something that was big to me. Huge thing that was big during Easter. For Latin America, especially Dominican Republic, we celebrate Holy Week, not just Good Friday, not just Easter. So from Monday to Sunday, everything is shut down in terms of school. I don't know if they still do. I haven't been home for a while. But when I was growing up, it was an entire week celebration, which translated that I was off, but also that the people in the community, I remember grandmothers and mothers made what we call habichuela con dulce, which is actually a Dominican dessert. And literally you went from one house to another and they fed you. They gave you this amazing dessert that they all made for the celebration of the birth of Christ. So it became, and by the way, to this day, my mom still does it. I'm a little jealous because I'm obviously not home, so I don't get to be spoiled by my mom. But it was those things that became part of how I was raised. It became part of an understanding of my culture and understanding of where I belong. And you were part of this community. It became that time, believe it or not, where people knew each other from a whole different perspective. It became that time where the kids all had to literally know each other's neighbors. And I have a couple of people that are popping up. Thank you, welcome. I'm so glad you're joining us. So let's talk about why traditions are important. Because I think today's, we're thinking, do we have them? Is it something that is important? So I got a couple bullets that I want you guys to look at with me and tell me what you think. So when you're thinking of traditions and when we're thinking of communities, think of the first one. It is a collective history that we're sharing. So traditions have been around thousands of years. The human race has been sharing our understanding of our history towards each other. It used to be spoken word, now we have written word, whatever you want to look at it. So traditions are how we share our background. A lot of the things I want you guys to realize, this is really how we help children to connect. One of the things that it does as a whole, when we have specific traditions, when you have specific upbringings, it makes kids feel part of their community. It gives them a sense of belonging. It gives them a sense of purpose. You're tying these bridges. You're making them feel a part of something bigger. So traditions, when you're thinking at a national level. So for Dominican Republic, we had huge celebration for Independence Day. So Independence Day for Dominican Republic is February 27th. I remember, and it correlates with Carnival. So nowadays a little murky because people think more Carnival than Independence Day, still the same. Think about some of those collective things that you're sharing with your kids. Traditions are the things, and rituals are the things that create communities. It creates a sense of belonging. It creates a sense of purpose. It gives a lot of our kids stability. It gives a lot of our youth that sense of being part of their understanding of who they are, where they come from, and how do they come. It's very different than when we're thinking of history books. I always believe that history sometimes is written by the side of the winner. So you're always going to get, like anything, movies or books are edited to a perspective. Your traditions is what you have from one family to another. So think in terms of different traditions, because we all have them, different organizations. The military, especially the Army. So being in the Army, one of the things the Army is very good is incorporating everybody into the fold, if you want to look at it that way. So we place a huge emphasis on customs, traditions, and ceremonies. That's huge for the military. So the very first thing we do when we have a brand new soldier is in basic training. So you start from the beginning. We start introducing to the history of the military. You start introducing to major campaigns. Got it. But you work on the uniform. How are things supposed to look? How are your hair supposed to look? What are you addressed? So those are very specific. You also go over some of the drills. DNC, drill and ceremony, is huge. We have specific ceremonies in terms of, promotions and retirement. There is a culture within the military that unless you've been indoctrinated into it, most people don't understand. So military is huge within their own subculture of this country. Now let's break it down into if you were in college and you join a fraternity, you join a sorority. Those organizations have very specific customs and traditions. Whether you like them or not, they're very unique to each organization. Is what makes you feel a part. Some sororities and fraternities, special dances, they have handshakes, they have signals that they do, they have a history. It's what makes people feel a part of something. You're bigger, you're greater than all these things, and you're not just an individual, you're part of the collective. So I am part of Rotary, which is a nonprofit organization. So Rotary, believe it or not, as an organization, we start our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance. So every Rotary Club starts the same way. And then we all finish the same way. We do the 4-way test. So as a Rotarian, those are things that you're expected to know. You're expected to know, obviously, the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States, but you're also expected to know the 4-way test. So wherever meeting you go to, anywhere in the world, because it is an international organization, you know those are the things that are going to be across. In the United States, any club you go, you're going to belong, you're going to have these things. It's going to be one of those foundations. So traditions and customs, depending where you are, is the foundations to your understanding. It's what makes you feel connected and a part of things. And holidays are the same way. So think nowadays and think of our current youth. We have so much information. Our current youth has more knowledge than any other generation put together. It is so easily accessible. It is there. You can do a Google search. And I did a Google search to find some history of Halloween. So I'm not even gonna lie. So do a search and anything and the information is there. What I realize is while the youth have knowledge, age brings wisdom. And that's kind of the understanding. It is our job as we get older to give wisdom to our youth, whether we like it or not. That's just part of the nature of humanity. As any kid nowadays, what is the meaning of Memorial Day? Or even an adult, do we still remember why we celebrated? Do we still remember that we're commemorating the ones that have fallen, that we're commemorating all those soldiers and airmen and Marines that actually have given their lives for all of us? Have we actually remember, the meaning of why some of our holidays are still there? Because as a nation, we come from different backgrounds. I stated that I'm Dominican. I have friends that are Irish. I have friends that are Italian. You have Puerto Ricans, Cubans. We can go down. All countries in this world have a place in the United States. But as a country, we still have unified traditions. We still have unified things that bring us together. One of the things, think of the 4th of July. Are we still celebrating the independence of the United States? Or you still understand how radical that concept was? That a group of men declare war on the greatest nation in the world at the time because they didn't agree. It gives me goosebumps because that is huge. Do they understand it's more than just a barbecue? That is, it's more than just hot dogs and hamburgers and a holiday in the middle of the summer. Do they understand why we celebrate Thanksgiving? We need more than a day to say thanks, but what are we saying thanks for? Why was this so big and why are they eating turkey? Trust me, I'm Dominican. We don't have that much turkey in Dominican Republic. Somebody had to explain to me why Thanksgiving was important because I was like, oh, why are we eating turkey? The beautiful thing is growing up in New England, I had a whole load of information and history that I could literally physically walk to and see and understand, In Salem, there's still a 1600 cabin that they have by one of the parks that you can go and physically see how people lived back in those days. And I'm extremely grateful that I don't live back in those days because I probably wouldn't have survived. I can be honest. I'm a little too weak when it comes to those things. That's not the biggest things. So when we're thinking of our traditions as a nation, it is still important to build a collective. Whatever your background, whatever you're bringing into the table, we still have unified things that bring us together as Americans. So those are the things that traditions bring, ceremonies. It is also important that what is your natural culture? What is it that you bring? It is huge for me. I have little nephews now that I want them to know what it means to be Dominican. They have multiple nationalities. So they're Dominican, their mother is from Europe. So we have this collective of information that I'm going, how do we explain it all? And you explain it through things that you do as a family. So today is Halloween, celebrating one of the most fun holidays for me ever, but it comes with a whole bunch of traditions. So I have put some things together that I want you guys to kind of look at some of the dates, because I have friends and families who don't celebrate it. They're completely against Halloween. I have others who adore it. It's 50-50. This is whether you like it or not. We're kind of discussing more the history behind it. So just bear with me because that's kind of what I want you guys to look at it. If we understand the history of what things came about, you can make a much more better educated decision of what you think about it. You can totally be indifferent towards, but at least you can see it and see where it came from. So Halloween, if you do a search anywhere, it actually has a Celtic tradition. And this holiday started 2,000 years ago. So I got some dates that I want to show you guys. So if you truly think in the grand perspective, this holiday has been around 4,000 years. That to me blows my mind. So 4,000 years ago is when Halloween, or that concept, started. So Halloween started in Celtic, so in the countries of Ireland, UK. That's kind of where the Celtics were at. And it was the Celtic, Celts, relation. So the Celts were celebrating what is called, and I'm going to put it up so you guys can kind of take a look at it. I apologize if I'm completely butchering this name, but its goal, the celebration was still win. So what they were celebrating at the time is what they call in November 1st was their New Year celebration. So I want you guys to think back, if you can possibly imagine. I know I have kids that have a hard time thinking back of the days that we possibly didn't have cell phones and when phones were attached to a wall. So thinking back of a time when there was nothing, it's kind of hard, but just bear with me. So 4,000 years ago when the celebration started, it started to think of the Ireland, think of the times where the bitter cold would kill humanity. Anything would take you out. So November 1st was the New Year's for them. The day before, October 31st, they considered to be a very special day. The 31st they considered to be that where the veil or the boundaries between the world of the dead and the world of the living became blurred. So what they believe is that ghosts were able to cross over. So if you're wondering, what does that mean? So when November 1st came around and the New Year's came around, it was the ending of the harvest season. So things were changing. It became the bitter winter. It was also the time when more people die. So if you can possibly think of bitter winter, and if you're up north, you probably can relate because you're covered in snow. So think of those things that, humanity was going through. They didn't have heating. They didn't have central air. They were literally getting wood and burning it and trying to survive. They had collected food to survive through the winter. So they were trying to get prepared. At the same time, think of the fact of an entire world that doesn't understand what's going on. Nowadays, we rely on science. We can predict changes in temperature. We can predict natural disasters to some extent. You can follow a hurricane. You can see if a snowstorm is coming. Earthquakes, obviously, is a little different, but you can predict some things and you can have science to validate it. Back in the day, they didn't. So they rely on priests. They call the Druids. So they actually had an entire ceremony to actually help them predict the next year. So what they did is the priests came back and they actually had huge bonfires. They were utilizing the blur between the worlds so they could predict the future. They could predict what the harvest, they could predict what was going on. And to celebrate, they did huge parties. Typical humanity, we all want to celebrate with a party, but they dressed up. They had animal skins, they had headgears of animals, they wore different things, they party around the bonfire. And the goal was to scare away the spirits. Because at the end of the day, they truly believed these ghosts were coming back on that night, and they were terrorizing the place. They were causing chaos. They were destroying the crops. I'm not exactly sure whether ghosts were destroying the crops. I couldn't figure that part out, but that's okay. It's not for me to decide. They were causing all sorts of mayhem. So they were having this entire ceremonies to keep them at bay. So that was the job of the priests. The priests were there to contain the madness and help them to survive for another year, to get them prepared. So they had these huge ceremony. At the end of the night, all the families took some fire from the sacred bonfire that the priests had lit and took them back to their homes so they can bless their own home and protect themselves from the spirits. So 4,000 years ago, that's how this came out. How did we protect them? It was a community event. It wasn't just one house doing it. It was something that was led by the priests and the leaders. It was something that was done collectively. This is how this nation survived and transition every year. So then we're going to fast forward because, it's all about what do we do? When we're thinking of, literally, when you start thinking about any kind of transition, here's what happens in a lot of our humanities. If you like history, I am infatuated by this, you can tell. One of the things that happened with a lot of our holidays, they started in a different nation. And as the different empires came and took over, one of the things that they did is they took those holidays and sucked them into their own. So they assimilated into what they currently have. Easier way to transition the new people into the fold, but also gave them a claim on the new country. So like everything else, if we're going to fast forward to 43 AD, Roman Empire, let's talk about them. So the Roman Empire comes in and they decide to take over a lot of the Celtics territory. What the Roman Empire did at the time is that they combined two of their holidays with the Celtic one. They combined Panona, which is the goddess of fruit. So they took her holiday, and then they combined Faralina, which is the passing of the dead. Kind of very similar. The Celtics were celebrating the harvest and making sure they had a good one for the next year. They were trying to keep the ghosts away. So the Romans came in and added theirs, same time frame, Same typical celebration to their holiday. So now you're mushing two separate countries, two separate different idealistic beliefs and goddess and everything else around the same time frame with similar celebrations. You still with me? We're still we're getting closer to our time. Then fast forward, let's go over all the way up to 609, when Christianity has taken over the Roman Empire. So you got to remember, as things transition in our history, we had the Roman Empire, who had lots and lots of literally gods and goddesses. As Christianity started taken over and became a lot more popular, the Roman Empire transitioned from many gods and made Christianity the main religion. So when you're thinking about it, fast forward 600 years, Christianity is now the main dominant religion in the Roman Empire. What did Christianity do? Like every power that takes over, they decided we're going to add our holiday as well. So back in 609, Pope Boniface Boniface IV. Actually, it started, it was in May 13, he decided to do a day for all the martyrs, all the Christians that were killed. One of the things that happened in around a few years after that, they moved from the 13th and moved it to 1 November, right? So now we're still celebrating the Day of the Dead. So one of the things that happened, Pope Gregory III decided to add All Saints Day. So between 1st of November and 2nd, now you have a Christian holiday on top of a Roman holiday, on top of a Celtic holiday, still celebrated the same way. So the fun thing about it is Christianity took over the holiday. In theory, and if you look at some religious, some theologians, and you can look at some historians, one of the things that everybody kind of thinks and claims is that they were trying to take this holiday, take it away from this pagan mindset, and give it a church-sanctioned holiday. Just switch it like everything else. We're going to claim it as our own. So they created, they were celebrating the same way. They were doing parades. People were dressing up. They were doing celebrations. They were doing a very focus from a Christian perspective. So when you're looking at this, go back now. So 1000 AD, All Souls Days was established. So now you have kind of like the bringing together of all of this. So All Souls Days was celebrated November 1st. The 31st of October became All Hallows Eve, and where we get Halloween from. So All Hallows, kind of the translation, All Hallows Eve is kind of where that is. So that's where you still have those traditions. It kind of slowly morphed into different groups taking into their own. Different groups incorporated into what we see today. So as you're thinking about it, if you're looking at these dates, it literally has a huge history moving forward. So the question comes back, because I was literally fascinated with 2,000, 3,000 years of history. My question came back, when did Halloween hit the States? Because by this point in time, 1000 AD, it is very, very ingrained in Europe. It is strongly across the world. Whether you blame the Roman Empire for taking it over, whatever, it kind of spread. With Christianity being the main religion of the Roman Empire, it spread through the entire empire. So everybody's celebrating this to some form or way. It wasn't into the middle of literally, think of the 13 colonies. So when the 13 colonies came about, it wasn't celebrated here. According to historians, Maryland did a little bit, but overall in the United States, it didn't pick up. It was primarily the 13 colonies were very Protestant in nature. They were very rigid, were very focused. It didn't actually pick up. It wasn't something that they brought with them. That wasn't the case. It wasn't until the middle of the 18th century when new immigrants came to the States, a lot of them from Ireland, that brought Halloween over with the same traditions that they had. So with the influx of new people, with the influx of new nationalities and essence and Florence, they brought that with them. So when you're thinking of how we have been assimilated, when you're thinking of how the country has changed, this is one of those influences that they brought with them when they come to the States. And it's just kind of spread. So here's the interesting part about this, my friends. While the immigrants brought it over, it wasn't until an 1800 movement that it started to change in the United States. It wanted, and you can say whether it was the leaders, they took the press to help them out. They actually decided to take away some of the traditions that were part of the holiday, some of the religious connotations, and they decided they wanted to make it more community-based, neighborly-based. So slowly, they started getting parents to stop talking to their kids about the scary and the tradition and the rituals and all that stuff, and keep it a little bit more of what we see today. So Halloween stopped having the religious overtone that it did when it started. It stopped having the same kind of intent. We still celebrate it. You still have the customs, you still have the parades in some areas. People still are in love with the idea of it changing and keeping the spirits away and keeping the whole mystery behind it. But it didn't have the same intent. You know, now we have tons of candy. They still go houses to houses, and it's much more focused on building that neighborly side. So when you're thinking about it, it has transitioned for 4,000 years, but it's still here. It is still very active. It still has a strong background, and you can still do a lot of research. So think back now. So that was an extremely quick background on Halloween. One of the things I want you guys to think about is think of your current household. What are some of the traditions you have? What is some of the history? What is some of your background that you're bringing to the table? And are you sharing it with your family? Are you truly experiencing your entire richness of who you are? The good news is you can pick it up anytime. That's the best part. As I get older and my parents are getting older, I have this sense that I'm like, I don't know my history, you know, and every time I'm home, I want to ask my parents more questions. And granted, I think my dad now is just like, avoid it. I'm like, God, girl, what else you want? But it comes back to, where are we building our richness? Where are you building? Are you sharing this information with your children? Do they know where they come from? Do they understand their background? I have a lot of friends that says, you know, I'm half Italian and I'm half Irish, and I'm going, that's amazing. What are some of your cultures that you have? What are some of the things that you have brought forth from these groups? Because that's really what you're looking for. What is some of the richness that we have? As a nation, we have holidays that we all can share. We can all celebrate. As a nation, and I'm a strong believer, the moment you become part of the United States, you're part of the nation. That's what makes us unique. We are, somebody said we're a melting bowl. We might be more, you know, we might be more a salad bowl than a melting pot, probably. But we're all in this together. And if you love the ability and the freedom this country gives us, it is up to us to continue to pass those traditions. It is up to us to continue to build our community. It is truly up to us to help our kids understand, whether they're yours by birth or not, what it means to be part of a community and a nation. And a lot of that has to do with, what is it that your community celebrates? What is it that your family celebrates? And what is it, those traditions that you have? Have we lost touch of that? Well, traditions and communities and ceremonies and religions and all that stuff has become very commercialized. And usually right now we see ceremonies, traditions, and rituals very much separated only to the religious sect, which is fine. But if you're not part of that, you might be missing out on your own. The beautiful thing about it is you can start bringing these things back. You can start celebrating whatever you want. You can start instituting those things in your family, in your tradition, in your household, in everything that you have, to bring those things to life. It is completely amazing. As I get older and Christmas is around the corner, my family spread all across the country. So we're completely scattered. So one of the things we're always trying to do is, how do we celebrate it? What is our new tradition? You know, what is it that we want? Do you give presents to everybody? Do you only give it to the little kids? What is it that you do? It is very important to me not to lose those things. You know, we celebrate in Dominican Republic, Christmas Eve is huge for us. So wherever I am, in whichever part of the country that I am, whatever family member that I am, we will have a Christmas Eve dinner. You know, that's kind of our celebration. I have been very blessed to be hanging out with Jewish friends that celebrate the Passover. So those are the things that I want you guys to kind of look at. What are those religions? What are those holidays? What are those traditions? What is it that makes you very unique that I don't think you should lose? So as Halloween gets ready to start, I want you all to stay safe. Please stay safe. If you are in anywhere cold state, please stay warm. Stay completely healthy. I am so excited you guys have joined me today in this fabulous morning. I hope you start to think about your own traditions, your own ceremonies, your own rituals, the things that you want to pass and keep alive in your family. So for all you friends of mine who are aspiring writers, who are writers as a whole, this is a great holiday to actually make stories about. If you're interested in joining our Facebook group to help build confidence and be able to write, here it is. Here's the link. Join the group. Say hi. Make sure you are absolutely enjoying this. I really, really hope you kind of join the fun. It's a great community. You know, I'm all about building each other. So please make sure to join us. Say hi. And I got a cute note that Oh, thank you. I'm glad that I pronounced it. I was having like, I hope I pronounce this semi-okay. I've been trying to practice all week long. So Win, I'm trying. Have an amazing Win. I love this holiday. I also love the fact that I get to share some time with you guys. So for everybody else, thank you so much. Good news, because today is the 5th Saturday. It means we actually get to see each other next week. We are going to be doing a little bit different. I have a brand new devotional out this week, came out yesterday, and we're going to talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness is a huge topic for me. Not just forgiving others, because I think sometimes it's easier, but forgiving of yourself. I want to explore that topic with you guys. I want to truly go ahead and get into it, figure it out, help you guys to see the world a little different. So for everybody watching, thank you for joining me. For the ladies, thank you for the messages. I appreciate it. And happy Halloween, happy One. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.